FIDL proposed this experimental pathway meta allocator to open up the doors for experimentation. And now we are live. It was accepted by the governance team and we are now live. It's very simple. You can go to FIDL website and choose the experimental meta allocator as the way to apply for DataCap. Once you get the slides, there is a link to the Google form application you need to fill out. I would strongly suggest that you read the proposal on GitHub or in the Meta Allocator bookkeeping repository. We also have the same rules that just summarizes how the Meta Allocator works. Things that you should know is that you will need to submit a proposal for your experiment with hypothesis and what are you trying to achieve and so on and so forth, and with an active GitHub repository. One of the checks the Meta Allocator does is it verifies how much activity has there been on this repository, how old it is and how much activity there has been done. And by activity, developing documents, changing designs, whatever, as well as developing code and contributing code. This is a pathway for allocators or teams that have already experimented with the code and built out some code. So if you just have an idea and nothing else, it's not a way for you. We are not trying to give you one PIB prior to you doing anything. This is specifically, I have the code, I've tested the code, and now I need to verify whether all of my assumptions work the correct way. It is important for us to enable teams to test and verify an experiment, not just to get DataCap so that you can use it for some vague ideas. So when you either run out of one PIB or decide that actually your experiment is not working, so there are issues in the code that you can't fix, it's not working as you were expecting, or you ran out of one PIB and you haven't still decided what to do. In either of those cases, you should submit a report and say summary of your work, what you've learned, and so on. We believe that if you haven't verified your hypothesis within the space that one PIB of DataCap gives you, then probably you're not going to be able to verify it. It's very hard to believe that you would actually need more than one PIB. In cases of failed experiments or experiments that run out of DataCap, we just close out your application. If you reapply, you will need to really explain what are you doing new, how have you changed your hypothesis to get more DataCap. And you will not be able to do it within the 6 months from getting the first DataCap allocation. So it's always at least 6 months between experiments. If you are successful and your DataCap distribution idea works exactly as you were planning, then great. Then we will ask you to provide audit of the code done by a third-party auditor that you have to name on your application. That's so that you already have that in mind. It's not like you have to sign a contract with an auditor, but we want you to have a think about who you will be working with, especially that booking in auditors takes time, as security is a big thing in crypto. Make sure you have someone in mind that you've spoken to. Happy to point you at auditors if you don't know whom to work with. You'll submit the audit of the code, you'll submit a report of your experiment, and that will go directly to the governance team who will review that application, put you on the right pathway, whether it's automated, market-based, basically put you in the right bucket of DataCap flow, and then you'll go through the same process as all the other allocators. So I hope that explains everything. I'm happy to take any questions. I think there's one more slide. So this is extract from our GitHub repo and from the proposal and everything that I said so far. I guess I don't need to repeat myself. You apply using the form, do the KYC, receive DataCap, and submit a final report. You will, after you apply using the form, there will be an email sent to the email account that you put in there with a link to the KYC verification and link to the GitHub issue that has been created for you. Make sure that you give us a real email address that you want to use and not a random one. Submit an application to the Experimental Pathway Meta Allocator, and we will take a look at your GitHub and hopefully we can get you some DataCap.